Probably this best title would be executive producer. I'm not exactly the creator. There was more of us, so I'm pretty much the executive producer. And of course, I'm behind the bridge and all other stuff. Yeah, they're sleeping over here because it's middle of the night, so they're wrecked. Yeah, there are some. I think there are two tricorders. One is from Master Replicas, one is from Roddenberry's. There is Master Replicas, Star Trek 6 phaser, and loads of stuff is in the storage. So yeah, but some of them are here, yeah. You mean like production-wise or the story-wise? They can't hear me, but they can't hear you.
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. I'm gonna have to run upstairs and get my mic. Hold on a second, Jacob. Sorry to do this to you. All right. Testing 1 2 3.
So anyway, guys, before Alec is back, you can have some entertainment. So whatever questions you might have, you can add them in the chat. Well, I'm not as good as Alec, but you know, at least you'll get some entertainment because he's gone now. I never thought I'll run. Axanar's stream, to be honest. It's quite funny, you know? Ah, he's back. I think they can hear you now, actually. And again, my question is it was story-wise or production-wise? It was a couple of years ago, actually. Well, I think it was 2014. With my 3 other friends, we decided we want to build a bridge. Like, you know, it was a long-time dream. So we put some money together and we just did build it. And then we shot some other kind of movies and short stories, which the quality wasn't as good, you know, the production value wasn't as good, so I don't really talk about it much. And then a few years ago, we were like, listen, we did so much, you know, so many stories. There was like 3 or 4 smaller fan films done, which were really still, like, you know, the camera was still, you know, the acting wasn't as great. So we were like, let's do something special. Let's do something different. So we came to our other friend, which is one of the best Czech sci-fi authors, and he's one of the best-selling authors actually in Czech. And he wrote a script for us, so we spent some time on it, and then we said, like, let's film it, let's do it, and that's what happened. So last year we filmed it over a few weekends, and since then we're in post-production. Yeah. Yeah. We actually did one kind of trial, which was, I think, 2013, 2012, I don't remember. And there's a really old movie called 12 Angry Men, really old one, black and white. Yeah. And we did that in a kind of Star Trek version. So there was a trial on Deep Space Nine, and we started like we had really big printed I'd say not a billboards, but like, you know, the size of billboards, like, you know, papers, and we actually made a room out of it. So it looked like on the S9. There was few props as well. There was you know, few people with some prosthetics and stuff, and we did that. I actually was a Ferengi. I was Quark. It was terrible, you know. The head mask was fucking crazy. So yeah, so that's what we did, and that's how we kind of started and proved the concept, and then we were like, yeah, let's build the bridge. After that, yeah, it was easy.
All right, I'm going to just do a mic check here. Can everyone hear me now? It is set up with my Yeti microphone. Hopefully everyone is able to hear me now. Just give me a... Is everyone able to hear me now? Let's get a check here. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Someone give me some feedback here that you can actually hear me. It's still off.
I think it worked before when you had the other microphone.
Well, yeah, they said. Now I'm 5x5. Okay, good. Okay, so now they got me. So tell us about your set. Where did you build your set?
It's built like 50 kilometers outside of Prague. Prague is the main city of Czech Republic. It's in a nursery school, so it has 2 floors, and on the first floor there's a nursery or kindergarten, and on the second floor we are. So it's quite good, like, you know, because kids aren't there over the weekend and we are. So it's quite funny. We don't allow kids, you know, to go to our bridge. Some people always ask that. Yeah, so there because it's the reason why we did it outside Prague is money, because it's cheaper. The rent is cheaper, so that's why we did it there. But compared to your bridge, it's totally different. Like, it's wall to wall, so the whole room was filled with the bridge and with the other sets. So there's no space behind the walls of the bridge, which is quite limiting. But it is what it is. Like, there was no other way to do it.
It looks fantastic. It really, really looks great. It's the, and what, mostly for fan films that are doing next gen era, DS9, whatever, usually they're green screening it and to mix results. It never looks really good. But yours being practical looks amazing. And I just, every time I watch that trailer, I pick something else up and I'm like, God, your lighting is so good. And I love the way each ship is lit a little bit differently, right? You're really sharp that way. But your bridge is spot on. I mean, I'm really, really impressed with that. I think that gives you your production, your whole production. And then you've got your captain's ready room. What sets do you have?
There's one more set actually, which is crew quarters. So we have 3 in total. And I say why it is so good is because we spent so much time researching it, and like we had my friend who does all the graphics for us. He did all the graphics for our campaign, and all the graphics you can see on the Facebook. He did all the LCARs. Also, he did all the sketches of the bridge, etc. So there's an amazing amount of time put into that. Like, the LCARs are something like on Voyager or something, because there are actually small Easter eggs in it, like there were in Voyager, which is crazy. I don't know where he got the time. And then my other friend, which we actually have company together. We do business together. He's an amazing builder, prop builder, makeup artist. It's quite amazing what he does. So when you combine it all together, it just worked. We had groups of people, coming in and building with us, and it was kind of like kids camp, over a weekend, where crazy people were building something together. You probably know yourself, yeah. So that's probably why the production value is quite good. Like, in terms of camera, my friend, which used to be a YouTuber, a Czech YouTuber, he was a huge Czech YouTuber. He got more into filming. So he does all the shots. We also rent gear for it. Like, we shoot on Sony A7S, the 3rd gen. So, yeah. And the lighting is funny, because when we used to shoot before, there was so many light drills and stuff. And now there's nearly nothing. It's all like, really small lights, and it works better. Yeah, it has more atmosphere.
It looks like you just have a lot of great practical lighting on the set.
Yeah,
which is really good. So, gotcha. And tell us, so it's all done in Czech right now. Everyone's speaking in Czech, and you're dubbing it. Is that correct?
Well, at the moment, we it really depends on how the Indiegogo campaign will go. Like, if it'll go well, if we'll make enough money, we're gonna do dubbing, yeah. Well, no, let me start again. Anyway, we want to dub it, but we can do the dubbing ourselves. That's the first thing we can do. If the campaign goes well, if we make over the threshold which we want, we're gonna get English-speaking professionals. I already spoke to some people, so we're gonna get, English professionals, and it will be kind of professionally dubbed. Now we have a new trailer which will be coming up with our campaign on the 20th of February, and that's dubbed. It's dubbed by us, yeah. So, but with every person, who never done that, the quality is good. I think it's okay, but it could be better, and that's what we want.
Gotcha. Now tell us a little bit about your Indiegogo campaign.
Yeah, so the Indiegogo campaign will start on the 20th. It will run for 60 days. There is a pre-launch page now at the moment, which you can see on our Facebook, on our website, and we're asking for $15,000 US. So I think it's not that much, and honestly, we're not looking for money to cover the bridge, because the cost for the bridge, because we kind of take the bridge as our investment and whatever, but the money will only go to production of Squadron. So you can probably imagine, well, you know it yourself, and I think that all the guys here can probably imagine the amounts that you have to spend. And we're not giving any money to ourselves, no one is getting paid for it. But there's so many overheads like food, traveling, costumes, makeup, CGI, etc. And CGI is the biggest problem, because there's really no one for free which can do CGI. There are, the guy who did our CGI is for free, but he's really slow. He's a great guy, but he's really slow. So because he works on some other projects as well. So pretty much most of what we'll get on Indiegogo will go towards CGI.
Oh, okay. So, and you're asking for $15,000? Is that?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Tell us what's. So give us a little. Tell us about the story of Squadron.
Yeah, the Squadron is set in the height of the Dominion War, and I don't want to spoil that much. It's a story about 4 ships. There is in the beginning a captain, a younger captain, is given a kind of rear admiral function, and he's given charge of 4 ships which have to patrol a piece of sector near the borders. So that's what he does, and the big problems come when he comes to a ship and its captain isn't really happy about him being there. So there's kind of 2 captains on one ship. So there are some problems there. There's one of the storylines. And then the second one is that one of the ships get hijacked from Dominion. So there's Borta and 2 Jem'Hadars which hijack one of the other ships, and then it's all get messy. So that's without spoiling that much. That's pretty much what's going on.
All right. Well, that's awesome. And now this is, how long is your fan film?
We're going for 2 15 minutes parts, so 30 minutes in total.
And it's going to be released. Are both parts going to be released at the same time?
Yeah, that's what we're thinking at the moment. Yeah.
Gotcha. Great. How long overall how long did the shoot itself take? How long did it take to shoot?
It was just a couple of weekends. I think it was 5 or 6 weekends plus some reshoots after that. So let's say at most 10 days, 10 to 12 days.
Okay, that's not bad. How many actors were involved?
In this one, a lot. I know that the whole lot, including the production crew and everything, was around 50 people. And I think in terms of actors, it was about 30 because you have 4 ships there. And you have to fill them with people, at least 4 or 5 something. So yeah, about 30 actors was kind of a bit crazy because there's loads of makeup and loads of FX makeup. So we have a Vulcan, we have an Andorian, we have Orion, we have Jem'Hadars, Vorta, Trail, some unknown species from another Czech fan film movie, which actually was shot here. We created, and yeah, I think there's about 7 or 8 alien species.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. Your makeup looks awesome. It really looks great.
Yeah, well, my friend Karel, who did the bridge, who built the bridge, he actually turned his passion into professional work. So since in that time when we shot Squadron, which was last year, he wasn't working on makeup professionally. Now he kind of does. It kind of evolved. So now he works for some US productions working here in Czech. So the makeup, even if we're making another movie this year, so I think the makeup will be even on a better level than it was over there.
Well, yeah, it's very well done. Very well done. I'm impressed. There really isn't anything. You look through as I look through the trailer, looking for the, in any fan film, you're like, what's the thing that makes this fan film look a little, where do they fail, right? And usually it's the costumes, right? Most fan films don't even try for the makeup, but usually the costumes is where you go, oh, it's not, okay, But your costumes are spot on.
Well, the reason for that is that we are really kind of screen accurate freaks. So we really try to make it as believable and as screen accurate as possible. So there was some research done on the costumes as well, and most of them were made for the main actors, like tailor-made. Some of them are used for different actors as well. So that's why, we really spent time on that, and it wasn't expensive. Well, it wasn't cheap as well, because there were maybe 10 costumes made. So that's why it's good. Like, for example, now we're going to be shooting a new movie in March, and what I did actually, because I like, as you do, I like collecting stuff. So I actually won 2 Voyager uniforms in auction, which are screen used, and prequel part of this next story is in Voyager era. So we are making uniforms based on the screen used uniforms, so it should be spot on as well. I know that so many people just buy it off China or something, and use it in the fan film, which just doesn't look as good as when you tailor make it.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. You cannot, unless you're picking up an Anovos costume. The costumes you're getting from China are just not accurate, right? It's not gonna work. And always, for years people would try and do Monster Maroons, right? And it was always the wrong fabric, and you were like, I was always like, look at a Monster Maroon. That fabric is really heavy. It does not wrinkle, and the reason it does not wrinkle is it's like a wool. I think it was wool gabardine or wool elastic, and it was backed. So it was not only wool, but it was backed, and so that stuff it has structure to it, and most costumes are just so you just don't buy them. But you guys do a really good job with them.
With Monster Maroon, I have one story by friend Jeremy. He made about 200 pages book on how to make Monster Maroon. There's every single detail possible how to make this uniform. So we actually have them. I have one. I have the Admiral Kurtz from the Wrath of Khan, and I think it's more than screen accurate, because in different movies there were different details. Like, for example, in the belt holder from the back, some of them were sewed in and some of them weren't, so I think it's absolutely the most screen accurate possible.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, I'm considering getting one from Anovos just because, I'd like to have one. I never got one for my collection, and I wouldn't mind cosplaying one. That'd be fun. Funny, ironically, the first time I ever wrote a Garth of Izar story 35 years ago, it was set in that era, and he's on the Enterprise and in a Monster Maroon. But anyway, all right. So tell us about your next Star Trek fan film.
Yeah. So
it's going to be different characters, not the same as Squadron.
Yeah, because we want to follow the CBS rules. There's totally new characters. Squadron it's a drama, of course. It's a drama, and it's more like TNG. There's more talking, less action. Even though there is some action, of course, there's a fighting scene and there's the Jem'Hadars and stuff. But this movie is gonna be more action based. So there's 7 locations. So we have some planets, we have some sick bay, we have the bridge, of course, etc., etc. And it's a kind of two-part movie. The first part is a prequel, which is set in Voyager era, as I said, and then then there's the movie itself. The difference is that there's a main villain, which is going to be kind of crazy guy who's going to hijack the other ship. And on Squadron, I was executive producer, so I was helping with the script. I was helping with kind of running stuff. I run the Indigo campaign. The next project is purely mine, so I kind of pitched it. Again, the writer who does it is the guy who did Squadron, and I hope it's gonna be epic. Like I think it's gonna be totally different. It would be R-rated if we would go this way. So there's gonna be some blood. There's gonna be some fight scenes and hand-to-hand combat, and I hope it's going to be awesome. I hope that people will love it. We're thinking about kind of shooting it. It's going to be shot over the first part, like we have it cut into parts. The first part, which is set on the bridge, is 4 weekends, and then there's another, I'd say, 4 or 5 weekends. So it will be a big, long shoot. Quality, we want the quality to be better. The overall camera should be better. We also have more uniforms, different costumes, more prosthetics, and we're building more props. So it should be bigger, larger, kind of more bold. And the release should be 2021, early 2021. It all really depends, on this Kickstarter and stuff. Really, the CGI is such an issue that, of course, if we'll have more, it'll be easier.
Gotcha. Are there other fan films, Star Trek fan films in Eastern Europe, besides yourselves?
Yeah, well, Czech is probably the biggest fan film producer at the moment. I think there is about the fan films that were shot on this bridge, I think in terms of Star Trek, I think there's about 10 at the moment. And the first were Star Trek Diplomacy, which we did with my friends, which was three-part story that was before the CBS thing. And then there's a couple of short fan films done by we were one production and kind of split, so there's about 4 done by the other production. But there's really 3 other movies that really stand out. One is a new one which is called Missing Stories, and all on green screen, and that's a really good movie actually. And then there's another one from Victoria, which is called The Dark Odyssey, and that was I think it's being released actually on Monday or something on YouTube. Yeah.
Huh.
So that's about 10, I think. 10 at the moment, which is crazy for such a small country.
All right. So without putting you on the spot too much, what fan films do you like? What ones have you looked to and go, oh, I like that one. I want to do something like that, or what ones have you?
Czech or the world?
No, overall, all fan films.
Well, and I don't want to be a ass licker, it's the Axanar. When we saw it first time, we were like, Jesus Christ, the production value and everything, that's crazy. So that would be probably my number one. I'm quite excited about the Interlude as well. So probably those 2 would be on top for me.
Oh yeah.
And I haven't seen them. We will see them soon, I hope.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm excited. As a matter of fact, next weekend they're shooting here for next weekend. I guess I'm shooting too, but so next weekend there's going to be some interlude happening at Ares Studios. So yeah, what else? Any others besides Axanar related ones?
Honestly, lately I didn't have that much time, to watch any. So that would be probably the best for me. Those 2, yeah.
Someone said, someone just sent me a message and said to readjust your box. I'm not sure. It looks pretty good to me. All right. Okay. So tell us tell us about your Star Trek fandom. How'd you start? What's your favorite? What do you think of Picard? Give us all of it.
You mean? Sorry, one more time.
So when did you start? When were you first a Star Trek fan? What got you into Star Trek?
Oh yeah, well, I have to give the credit to my grandma. When I was about 7 years old, she introduced me to Star Trek on RTL, which is a German television. And it was all in German, and it was TNG was on, and I think it was 1992 or something like that. And I loved it. So that's when I started to be a Star Trek fan. So that's 28 years ago. And since then, I was in it, since I was 14 or 13, I went to a Star Trek fan club, and we played the CCG cards, and then we started doing more stuff like cosplaying and theater work, and I used to write stories as well, and yeah, that's what got me into it. And as you evolve, you get to collecting, and now the most expensive collecting is the screen use props and uniforms and stuff. Yeah, so that's what keeping me at the moment. So my love of Star Trek is 20 years old, which I think is when I'm 35. So it's quite a long journey with Star Trek. Yeah.
And which is your favorite show?
Well, probably it would be TNG, and in terms of movie, it would be the original cast. Probably my favorite movie would be Star Trek 2. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Star Trek.
Of course, Picard.
What's that?
And I love Picard,
Yeah. It's kind of hard to beat Star Trek 2. I know out in LA there's a bunch of the Star Trek fans who are in the film industry. They fetishize TMP. And I just can't, and they prefer, they think TMP is the best Star Trek movie, and I'm just like, guys, it wasn't the best Star Trek movie when it came out. It's not the best Star Trek movie according to most fans, and even the director's cut, even though it's better, it's a great extended episode. It's a great 2-part episode. But as far as a movie goes, to relaunch the franchise, I mean, everyone needs to remember this relaunched the franchise after 12 years. Whatever. Let's see. What year did TMP come out? Was it 78? 70? No. 80 maybe?
Star Wars came out, so.
Yeah. Anyway, and I'm just like, Star Trek 2 is, my friend and I always discuss this. Star Trek 2 is not only the best Star Trek movie, it is one of the best science fiction movies of all time. I would argue that is, that it legitimately, and there's so much to love about that movie. So I the other one, which I always enjoy when I watch it, even though it's imperfect, is Star Trek 6. And I think Nicholas Meyer did another round. There's so much wonderful stuff in Star Trek 6. It really is. I mean, I kind of hate all the Rura Penthe stuff. But other than that, I just think there's a lot of great stuff in that movie.
Yeah, like in terms of Star Trek 2, that's actually the movie that inspired us for our next Star Trek movie. But what I really love about it is how much you can do on 2 sets, really, or 1 actually, because Reliant, I think the bridge was redone, Enterprise bridge.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I love, how much you can play on such a small scale. That's for me the most amazing.
Yeah.
And of course, it's down to the actors. If you have a great villain, it just works, and you don't need too many bottles and too many CGI and stuff. If the story is good, if the actors are good, obviously you can make an amazing movie.
Yeah. No, I agree. What you need is a great story. You don't need great sets. You don't need you need a great story. It's always about that, and a lot of those things are a bonus.
But on the other hand, I think that as we're getting into 2021 or something, it's more demanding. What I always say, there's people saying that, oh, well, Picard is in Star Trek and Discovery is in Star Trek. First of all, we're not the one who's deciding what's Star Trek and what's not, unfortunately, maybe. But on the other hand, I don't think that the shows that were on air 10 or 20 years ago would work anymore. Of course, there would be people which would be saying, the show, what's the show's name? The new kind of TNG thing, which is not Star Trek.
The Orville.
yeah, the Orville, like, but people say, but the Orville is successful. Like, it's okay. So I don't think that those shows will work anymore because the people demand more, and the television industry demands more. So I think that the shows that are on right now are Star Trek because they're different era, different time. So I think it's the same with fan films. Like, a couple of years ago, it was okay when you had few people, running around in some uniforms doing something. But now it's all evolving. You need to kind of invest more time, effort, money to get better results in terms of CGI, acting, uniforms, etc.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I think so, and I think everyone just keeps the beauty is everyone keeps raising the game. It's kind of like you look at the Star Wars fan films, and boy, they are just. I look at them and I go, God damn, those people! They are so raising the game, I love it. I mean, it just forces you to be better and better, and that's what we're all here for, is to make great, fan content, which is ultimately, no one's here to make money. It's ultimately a vanity project, if you will, but we do it because we love it, right? We do it because we love Star Trek,
Yeah.
And I think that's great. Well, let's and I'm gonna check back and see if does anyone have any questions for Jakob. Let's read, see if anyone has this.
In the meantime, as you said, it's totally true. Like, the Star Wars fan films are amazing, but on the other hand, they get some support from Lucasfilm or Disney. They actually, care about fan films, and we all know, that CBS, Paramount don't really care about fan films. So maybe that's the reason as well why there are so many in such a good production value, because I think they have a competition, and people can win something, if they put their movie on. Like, what we'll get is is just nothing.
Yeah, no, I mean, Lucasfilm has an enlightened view of fan films. Sadly, CBS does not. And I think, I think CBS, there was no Star Trek for so long that fans stepped in and filled the gap. And when CBS decided to, well, we're going to start making Star Trek again, rather than embracing everyone, rather than saying, all right, you guys are doing, let's do something with you guys. They just, wanted everything to go away. Because what they don't want is what they've got now with Axanar, whereas, everyone's like, well, this is the Star Trek we want to see, not Discovery. And that's not good for CBS. And what CBS should have done is embraced Axanar and put it on their website. Put it on StarTrek.com. Classic Star Trek, right? Star Trek continues. Star Trek.
Honestly, before we'll get into the questions, honestly, what I think that, and I said that so many times, that you were one of few people which actually, replied, and decided to help us. We addressed so many Star Trek websites like TrekCore and the TrekMovie.com, etc. And they didn't even reply. And my personal feeling is that they're kind of scared, to promote something fan-made, because there could be another CBS lawsuit, whatever. That's my opinion. It might not be that, but it seems like it.
Yeah, listen, I can tell you for a fact that I know a couple of the, I know one YouTube channel that doesn't want to promote Axanar because they're worried about their relationship with CBS. Yeah. And I'm like, that's bullshit. Listen, I love the guys. But I'm like, listen, guys, that's bullshit, right? CBS is not going to have a different relationship with you because you're talking to me. They got better things to be doing, right? CBS does not, they treat fan films with benign neglect. They basically ignore us as long as we're not, really pissing them off. They're going to ignore us, and I think. But, it's kind of like with the lawsuit and everything. It's like the fans need to understand that CBS sees fan films as a nuisance. That's what they don't see him as competition, and they shouldn't see him. Now they saw Axanar as competition. They told us as much, basically, but that. Other than that, they don't care about fan films. They really don't. Listen, when Star Trek Continues made 3 full-length episodes after the guidelines came out with Star Trek actors, I mean, CBS didn't do anything. And the reason they didn't do anything is because they didn't consider it competition. I've said it before. I asked CBS point blank. I asked the general counsel of CBS point blank. Wait a second. You have Star Trek Continues and Star Trek New Voyages over here, and they look like Star Trek. They use the name Star Trek. They use the characters. They use your music. They use your sets. It's all identical to your Star Trek. And here we are, Axanar, and we don't do any of that. Why did you sue us? And their answer was because they don't look like real Star Trek. No one's going to confuse them for real Star Trek. That was exactly what he said. And we were like, okay, we got it, So just don't be too good. And they want to ignore us. They don't have time. CBS doesn't have time to deal with fan films. They've got Picard. They've got Discovery. All right, let's get on to that. What do you think of Picard?
Well, I love Picard. I love it. I watched all 3 episodes. I really liked the second one. I didn't really like the third one, but yeah, I love it. I like that it's different, Like Star Trek, TNG wouldn't work in this time, as I said before. So for me, it's different and it's good. I like Discovery as well, I love it. Like, how they wrap it up in the second season's great. Like, something new. And that's what Star Trek need. Is new content, new people, new producers coming in. And that's what's happening. And that is good. Do you want to dig into some questions here?
Yeah, let's look. Okay, so...
Jerry,
let's see, what do we got here?
3:41 a.m. Jerry, when in Star Trek timeline is Squadron set? It's in the kind of peak of the Dominion Wars, so really in the middle of Dominion Wars.
I'm going to scroll back here a little bit. Silver Bullet says, I have a non-Star Trek question for Jacob. Does Jacob like Genghis Khan? I love the music, and he might be able to see one of their concerts. That's why I ask. I don't even know who that is. Do you know who that is?
Where's the question?
Here, I will let me highlight it and copy it and put it in the chat again. There you go.
Well, I have no idea what's that, to be honest.
Okay. All right. Sorry, Steve. That's Stephen Shuey. Sorry, Stephen. We do not know. Let's see. Any other questions? Pris K says they said NBC may try to buy Star Trek. Yeah, we're not even sure that's true. And the new rumor is that the whole thing fell through. So whether it's true, we do not know. Here's another question for you. What are your thoughts, Jacob, about the new animated Nickelodeon Star Trek show being titled Prodigy?
Well, it's a show for kids, and again, it's a different content. We might not like it, but it's good, to bring another generation of Trekkies into all that, because we are all getting old. That's the thing, and we need to bring more people. I remember in Czech, when I was 15, the fans were booming, it was booming. But now it kind of died out because there were no more new generation coming. And there's actually Comic-Con now in Prague. There was the first Comic-Con first day yesterday. And there were some new Trekkies, and it was great to see those people, because you are meeting the same people all the time. So I think that the show, anything produced, is good. I can say it's bad or good. It's good for some people, it's bad for some people, and who are we to judge, if it's Star Trek, if it's good or not. So any show should be good. What I'm a little bit concerned about is the Section 31 series, because I think just Michelle Yeoh, I think I pronounced that correctly, is a good actor, but I think she's kind of overpriced or overvaluated. I'm not sure if, from a Trekkie point of view, I want to see that show. I don't see any reason, honestly. If it would be Section 31, after TNG, wow, great, like, there's so much content before, it'll be amazing. This kind of beginning of Section 31, I kind of ask why, like, I think that, and probably most of the people will agree, that the Pike series would be amazing, like, because the Pike episodes were spot on, and I think it actually got more credit than Discovery itself, which I don't think that they actually thought it'll happen at the beginning. So yeah, that would be my opinion on that.
Yeah, I'm not thrilled about the Section 31 series either, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's again, I'm up for all Star Trek. And some of it is better than others. I think so far Picard's been really interesting, but we'll see. We'll see how it's. I've got to see episode 3. I'm going to download it tonight and watch it. Don't tell Crystal. I'll have to rewatch it with Crystal. That's we've been watching it together, and so far I enjoy it. I enjoy it. I was bummed that we saw the Discovery Enterprise at Starfleet headquarters, the hologram that was above when he walks into Starfleet headquarters, and he looks up. There's the Enterprise, and then it turns into the Enterprise D. Well, the original Enterprise was the Discovery version. It wasn't the TOS version, and that disappointed me. So this is obviously Discovery timeline, but it is what it is. Let's see, what else do we have?
When is Squadron coming to a screen? Well, we expect it to be released by the end of 2020. That's what we want. Like, it's the post-production, well, it's filmed, the post-production is done, there is a hard cut done, but we're just really waiting for the CGI. And it's really down to the Indiegogo campaign. If it'll work out, we can buy CGI. It should be released by the end of 2020. Because, that's the main issue at the moment.
Let me just... So the other thing what we should say is... because we hit the magic number of 50 viewers. The thing, Jake, I'm so thrilled about Squadron, and the thing Jacob and I talked about is doing something together, doing a Czech Axanar, a Czech U.S. project together. Let's get him and some people his over here, and we could go over there, and I think it'd be a blast to do.
Yeah.
To do a project together. And now, do you know Nick Cook from Intrepid?
No.
Oh, have you seen that?
Not personally, no.
Have you seen Intrepid at all?
Yeah.
Nick is one of the great people I'm going to say. Nick is one of the great people in Star Trek fan films. I really like him, and he does a show called Intrepid out of Scotland, and I'd love to get him involved as well because he's such an awesome guy. But we will talk about that. I keep saying, we're not going to do any more fan films, but you've got me fired up, Jacob, to do something. All right, so
I think it's an amazing opportunity, to do, it is. By talking to you, to Jonathan, and I actually met so many people in last month, just by promoting the Squadron, and got so many people interested, that it's an amazing how the community of filmmakers, of fellow filmmakers that is here, that they're willing kind of to help each other and do something together. And that's what I love about Star Trek, is the people. And obviously, there's a room for doing stuff together, of course, there's so many bridges, there's so many productions. To do something international would be absolutely amazing,
I agree. That's what Star Trek's about. And I got to say, people say, the guidelines killed fan films. No, they didn't. They didn't. If anything, it made it easier to make a fan film because you didn't have to worry about making an hour-long episode. I think since New Voyages and Star Trek Continues have gone away, I think fan films have gotten better because there's not that arms race we had going with us and them and Renegades and everyone trying to do it better and better. Everyone's getting down to brass, and you are the epitome of it. I know we got Vance Major Owen here who does, the Menard series. He's the other end of the spectrum that I love. It's just like, I'm just going to take my phone and I'm going to make a fan film. And I don't care about anything. I'm going to have mediocre sets and crappy costumes, and I'm just going to have fun and make movies. And he's great at it, right? And there's another one. We got Sam Cockings here from Trek Yards, one of my favorite people I always try and see when I go to the UK. Sam says, have you seen the Avalon Universe fan films, Jacob?
Dear Sam, I did. You sent me some. Yeah. It's quite good as well, and the CGI is absolutely amazing. So. Yeah.
Well, and Sam is awesome. He does CG for various fan films.
Yeah, and to be honest, me and Sam, we have a chat on Monday, and we'll be actually talking about the production of CGI for us. Yeah, so that's
awesome.
That's
awesome.
Well,
Scott Voigt says, "Oh, go ahead."
No. It's just Sam is one of the people I actually met through the promotion of Squadron. Yeah.
Awesome. Scott Voigt says, "Thank you, Jacob. Look forward to seeing it. Your teaser looks amazing."
Thank you. Thank you. But it's like, it's really not my work, and I have to address that as much as I can, because the director, Teresa, she's really the person behind this project who made it happen. She's amazing, and without her, Squadron wouldn't be here, and without the other people, without the other 50 plus people who actually worked on it. Yeah.
Warlords of Trek says, Trey at Axanar Comics hosts a lot of amazing Star Trek fan films. Yes, he does. Trey is the number one. I think Trey and Jonathan Lane are the big promoters of Star Trek fan films in different media. They're both awesome. I'm sure Trey's going to want to have you on his show as well. Let's see what else we got. Yes, Trek Yards Convergence is a big international crossover. Doesn't mean we're not going to try and beat it, Sam. Let's see. Chief Cook says, I heard Star Trek Continues is coming back. I doubt it. I doubt it, especially with Vic Mignogna's getting Me Too'd out of the industry. I don't think that's a good look for. I don't think a lot of people want to be involved with that anymore. I think it did a good job. It had a good run. It's kind of seen its day. Let's see.
Maybe just going back to what you said before, that the guidelines made it easier to make movies. There is only one issue I really have, and I'm actually excited to see how other fan films work with that. If you do a series, you can introduce the characters in 1, 2, 3 episodes. But now with the limitation, when you cannot do series, you have to introduce all characters and set the timeline and everything in 30 minutes, which is quite tough. That's the only really issue I have, that you have to introduce all the characters within 30 minutes, play the story, and finish it. That's my issue. I don't know, how do you see that?
Yeah, I think there's, I think there's ways to do it. And ways to do it that honor the spirit of the guidelines without pissing off CBS. Again, CBS really doesn't care. And the last thing CBS needs is to muck it up with their fans on fan films again. Fan films are, it would be a bad look for CBS to sue their fans or do, even send a cease and desist or something like that. It's just, they got bigger fish to fry, and messing with fan films does the way they've done it, the clumsy and awkward way they've interacted with fan films is not going to. That's not going to serve them. It's not. So I think there's a little leeway there. Let's see what else we got.
What CBS and fans have to understand, and I think there's this sour thing, is you cannot bloody make money on doing fan films. You just can't, because you know it, I know it, and anyone who does fan films knows it, that the amount of money it takes to create it is just it's a lot. Like, of course, like, in Czech it's cheaper and stuff, and we try to do most of it ourselves. But like, for example, the next project we're doing, the budget for it at the moment is $6,000, but it's only paying for uniforms, for props, food, traveling, gear rental, and that's it. And that's $6,000. Like, it's a lot of money. Like, some people work the whole year, to make this. So, just to show up, and that's without a CGI, and that's without any other cost. So it's impossible to make money on it. And of course, you have to pay rent, you have to pay electricity, water, blah 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 blah. And so many people, I think, still don't understand, even pointing to you, that they don't understand how much money it costs. And I know that you were saying it so many times, but still, and CBS probably doesn't understand that as well. Okay, I think that $50,000 is quite okay. You can do a fan film with that, no problem. The question is if you're gonna reach it. Like, for us, it's 15K. If we'll reach it, fucking amazing. Like, and if not, that's the story, and we're gonna finish it anyway. Still, it's something you do out of love.
Yep, exactly. I'm with you. I think it just. I also think we're at a point now where it's easier to make fan films. We've got sets. You've got Axanar sets here in the U.S. You've got Warp 66 set. It's in Arkansas. You got the old Star Trek Farragut / Continue sets in down in Kingsland, Georgia. So there's places to make. You can get the production values really cheap, right? You don't have to build your own sets, and because of that, it's easy, right? It's easy to do Star Trek. All you need is the uniforms, and cameras are cheap, right? You shoot on Blackmagic. You can shoot on your iPhone 11. You can shoot on, right? We've already seen that. iPhone 11 is good enough to shoot. I don't know. I just think it's easier and easier to make high quality Star Trek fan films if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, what I really like, that there's more kind of productions coming to the bridge and filming there. There's at the moment there's 3 productions filming. Like, and the guys kind of, as I said before, we were one production kind of split. The other guys, they're doing some Star Trek stuff, and they also, because diplomacy, when we started with it, and then the CBS lawsuit came, so they decided to transform it into another universe, which is on that bridge, like, which is an idea as well. Like, we are filming this year. There was another production which is filming here as well, and so as you said, like, if you want it, you can do it. Like, I can see people from Germany or Poland or Slovakia or Hungary, which border to us, they can film there. And as you said, like, the costs can be lower. And I really can't say, how the Indiegogo campaign will go. I hope it'll go amazingly, and I hope with your support it will, and with all the support from the guys who are here on this chat. So, but even if not, like, people spend money on going to a pub, going golfing, going holidays, and this is like a hobby. So, why not to spend some money on your hobby? If the hobby is making fan films, then why not?
Right, exactly. Yeah, I think you hit it on the head. I mean, we love doing this, and I've spent a fortune. A lot of people have houses. I could have bought a house with the money I've spent on Axanar, and so, but I don't mind. I mean, I love what because I get messages all the time. I get emails all the time. Yeah, so it's encouraging, and we're all Star Trek fans, and we love it, right? So let's do what we love doing, and let's do it with people we think are cool. So so there we go. Let's see, we've hit our hour, but boy, everyone's going short. Let's see what else. Paul Osborne, Stern von Olf says, I love that squadron has Andorians, by far one of my favorite species. Yes, I agree, and they look great. I don't suppose your antennas move on your Andorians.
No, they're on screws. There's big screws coming out of this piece, and they put them on. It's quite funny actually. And when you blame them, they do. It's quite funny. Quite funny, yeah.
Troy Light is here. Hey Troy, how are you doing? Silver Bullet says a friend of mine did a Doctor Who cosplay movie at MegaCon on his and his girlfriend's phones. Yeah, it's that easy these days, and the phones keep getting better. The 11 Pro, the new Apple, is just insane. Raygun Media says Ray at Neutral Zone Studios is great to work with, as is Glenn and Scott at Warp 66. Yeah, but Ray is easy to work with at Neutral Zone as long as you're not Axanar, since he takes his orders from Vic, and Vic has laid down the law that Axanar cannot use Neutral Zone Studios. So that's fine. We'll use Glenn and Glenn's studio up at Warp 66. Glenn Wolf is awesome. We love that guy. Dale Simpson says, Alec, so could different fan groups fill a multi-part story of each 15 minutes that dovetail into each other for a complete story? Absolutely, Dale. That is absolutely possible. So, yeah, no question. So, Jacob and his crew could do a half hour, and we could do a half hour, and they could all be part of one big story. Yep, you could do that. That's absolutely. So, so that, yeah.
And I must say, a couple of weeks ago when you came up with the idea, and I had actually the same idea differently, then, we could do something together. All of my friends from the production team, which is, I think it's about 6 of us, were like, fucking hell, that's great. We never thought of that. We would never think of working with Axanar or those guys, and they were like, yeah, let's do it, and I must say, and you know it yourself, that the amount of time and energy that other people put into your project is amazing. Even with the Indiegogo campaign, we started building it up in November, I think, and my friend who does the graphics, he spends so much time on it. Then we have another guy, who's checking the English. He spends so much time on it. And everyone is just so involved. Terka, the director, she does all the social media posting and planning and everything. I build up the campaign. And it's amazing for me personally. It's amazing to see, different people from different age, different income, just coming together, and doing something together. That's what when I get the thrill out of it. When, for example, for the next shoot, we have a group on Facebook, and we were trying to find out the dates, and some people were like, oh, I'm going on holidays, but okay, I'll just cancel it, because there's most of the people. So for me, the thrill, I guess, is really how many amazing people you can meet that they can work towards the same goal. Same with you, same with Jonathan Lane. There's so many people which can. Yesterday I got a message from a guy from Germany. I can't remember his name, and he does props, and amazing props. And he was like, "Hey, I want to help you. Can I make a prop for you? And he'll make a pad. And it's great, because we don't have to make it. So there's so many people willing to help, and I'm really, really excited about how many people will help us with the campaign. So for me, seeing the fans coming together, and doing something, that's what I really love. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's the quality of the people you meet through this. It is really awesome, and it keeps you excited and it keeps you going. By the way, everyone, there's 47 concurrent viewers and only 37 likes. That means 10 of you are slackers. So hit that thumbs up button. You can hit the thumbs down button if you want. It doesn't matter. YouTube looks at it the same way. But give us those likes here so we can keep driving this channel. And remember, listen, everyone, over Axanar Live. Hey Trey, can you put the Axanar Live link in the chat? Axanar Live is our live channel where I live stream. I haven't the last couple of days because I've been so busy with the dogs and other things. This weekend, Crystal is away. She's in Las Vegas on business, as well as her friends getting married there. They're looking into the CBD business because we have some investments in that and investment in that, and she's looking at that. So she's in Las Vegas with them, with some consultants on that, and one of them is getting married, or two of them are getting married. So she's off this weekend. So I'm home all alone with the puppies. That means lots of live streaming. Probably going to be live streaming tomorrow morning, actually, a little early AM Axanar. So thank you, George M., for liking everyone. George M. says, Alec, forgive me if it was already addressed, if warranted. Can you use the sets in Fort Ticonderoga in New York? No, James Coley does not allow those. I guess his deal with CBS is that the sets can no longer be used for fan films, which is bullshit. I mean, come on, CBS. That's just ridiculous. But, and Coley isn't it, and that, I shouldn't say that because we don't know that for a fact. Coley may just be saying that. Coley doesn't want anyone to use them. So whatever. There's like we said, there's the sets down in Kingsland, Georgia, and there's Warp 66 Studios, Glenn Wolfe, his sets as well. So there you go. There's two sets of TOS sets. Jacob and I have talked about what we've talked about doing, and we haven't really. I was talking to Nick Cooking. He's like, "Oh, well, what's the story? What do you?" I'm like, "Oh, whoa, we don't even have a story. We just decide we want to work together, right?" It's like we'll figure something out. I don't know, but I love your sets. I mean, I just want to, it's like I want to play on those sets. I want to see them on film. I want to, I don't know. We got to figure out something to do together here. I think that would just be freaking fantastic, right?
And what we're actually working on at the moment is doing another set. I don't know how it will play out. If it will play out, it might actually. We're thinking about doing another set which will be transportable, because this one is made and you cannot transport it. But what we're thinking about is doing something kind of like Lego. So out of the bridge, you could make more bridges, or you could make a different set like corridor or something, and bring it to Comic Cons or something, because there's nothing in terms of Star Trek in Europe which you can bring around. So we were thinking about that.
Yeah.
And that would be amazing as well, seeing people sitting there doing their stuff, and it would be great as well. So there might be another set as well. There might not, I don't know at the moment, yeah.
God, now, have you ever been to FedCon?
No, I didn't have a chance to.
Yeah, I mean that we went to FedCon the year we released. I mean, now we're talking a long time ago. I gotta see when FedCon is this year. We went to FedCon, so that was 2014 when we released Prelude, and we had a blast. It was awesome. It's a great show. It's May 29th to 31st this year. Yeah, that's a convention. We should talk to them about you guys and us working together, going there together, maybe.
Yeah.
I'll have to check into it and see what they're doing. So, everyone in the audience, any more questions for Jacob? We want to let him get back to bed. It's 4 a.m. there. It's just after 4. So, well, listen, Trey McElwain is going to touch base with you, because we want Trey to do a show with you on his channel, Axanar Comics, and I know you're talking to Jonathan Lane, and he's been promoting you. So once your Indiegogo goes live later this month, we will certainly promote it. And you're not asking for that much money. Hopefully, we're able to help you hit your goal. You've got and our Indiegogo, or our fundraiser, which will be on our site, will be going live a little bit after that, a couple weeks after that. So Herb Luntman says Ticonderoga, Kingsland, and Warp 66, plus a couple others, at least a half dozen. I'm only familiar with, Ticonderoga has a bridge, but it's a museum. And then I'm only familiar with the other three, Kingsland, Georgia, and Warp 66 in Arkansas, and ours. Dale says he'll be in Germany in late May. Well, we need to talk, Dale, and see what's going on. Chief Cook says, how long is the movie, Jacob? And you told us it's 30 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, listen, we are going to wrap it up. Thank you all. We appreciate it. We appreciate your time, Jacob. I look forward to working with you, and I look forward to doing fan films with you. I think I can't wait. I'm really excited as a follow-up to Axanar I was more than happy never to do fan films again, but now you've got me excited to do something with you guys. I want to come over there. I want you to come over here. I think I think we could really do something which would be a lot of fun. Yeah. So that's it. Thank you for waking up in the middle of the night for us. Thank you, everyone. Trey, Dale Simpson says thanks for joining us. Trey wants to talk to you. Herb Bluntman, everyone's thank you, everyone. As always, we love having you on a Friday night. I'm going to get to making sure the puppies haven't destroyed the living room, and take a shower because I worked out right before this and came right on. So I'm off to take a shower and relax the rest of the evening. John Tesler, good to see you again. We will have Jacob back. Maybe we'll have Jacob back during his Indiegogo campaign so he can promote it. Maybe Trey, you can do that during the Indiegogo to help Jacob promote his Indiegogo for Squadron. And then we can't wait to see it. I mean, we're looking forward to it. It'll be great. So, Jacob, thank you. Thank you to all the fans out there.
Thank you, guys.
We will see you guys. Check us out tomorrow on Axanar Live, everyone. I'm going to try and live stream in the morning. Trey, throw the Axanar Live link up there so everyone can go join. I think we have over 500 subscribers already in a little over a week. So that's it. We will see you guys all. Thank you, AXA we love you, and we will see you around the galaxy. Take care.
Take care.